they had like 7 or 8 drop passes, bro, where Lamar is placing it right in these niggas' hands, bro. This is another thing that needs to be addressed. Baltimore, you can't keep ignoring that receiver position, man. You just can't. You have to take care of that, bro. Because that Mark Andrews split, I mean, that works for the Chiefs where they can just have a great tight end and mid-grade receivers. That's clearly not working for y'all. It's working to win games in the regular season, but clearly when you play somebody who's for real, when you play a defense that's for real, that split ain't gonna work. All right, what up? What up? Welcome to the All Grind Sports Show where we are politically incorrect. I go by the name of JC. As y'all can see, man, my brothers couldn't make it today, but I'm sending them all love, man. Hope all is well. And I'm going to hold it down for y'all today. And this is going to be our first solo episode. So it's just going to be JC today. I'm going to go through our weekly recap, and we're going to do week 5. But first, I just want to thank y'all for tuning in the way y'all have been. Make sure y'all continue to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Y'all could have been anywhere in the world, but y'all here with me, and I appreciate that. So, without further ado, man, let's get into our special guest. We got the guy JC. That's what we got today, man, and I'm going to hold it down for y'all. So, enough said, man. Let's get right into the splits, man. We got Thursday Night Football, which is Chicago and Washington. What a monster game by DJ Moore, man. I actually had him in one of my fantasy leagues, and obviously it was a lot of people online saying, like, man, if you playing DJ Moore or if you got DJ Moore, basically like you ain't got to look this Sunday, you good. So I thought. Apparently, I had to play Jamar Chase in both of my leagues, so I had to deal with, I think if I'm not mistaken, he got more than him. He had like 50 something. DJ Moore got like exactly 50. So even though I had DJ Moore, I still found a way to F it up. I still lost this week. But, live to fight another week, man. But yeah, as far as the game, man, what a monster performance, as I said, from him and Justin Fields, who the last couple of weeks has kind of woke up. He's been getting a lot of flack, especially on this show, as y'all know. My guy Isaiah has been pretty hard on the guy, to say the least. And he's woke up, man. If I'm not mistaken, I think he has like 7 touchdowns and 1 interception in like the last 2 games. Even though they lost the last one, because of the comeback. They're showing some flashes now, and I like what I'm seeing from Chicago. They look like, even if they don't, I guess, fully turn it around this season, they have something to build upon. Hopefully this is not just like a, hair by day, gone by tomorrow thing with Fields, and he really builds upon this. Washington, I would say, was disappointing to say the least, but, we do got the garbage time number from Sam Howell, but the defense couldn't seem to do anything with DJ Moore. It seems like that was the story of the game. DJ Moore and I think Logan Thomas, he had a pretty decent game, but it looks like he couldn't find Scary Terry as much as he wanted. They couldn't get the run game going, which I don't think they tried enough because they were getting blown out all game. So yeah, it was an interesting one to say the least, man. I definitely wasn't expecting that. I felt like this was a game for the way we view Washington. This is one that they definitely should have took care of, and this is one that, they kind of dropped the ball on. So I don't know who they got next week. I haven't checked yet, but matter of fact, let me see. Let's take a quick look. Okay, so they got Atlanta. So they got another, tough one, considering, there's not much of a disparity between those two teams because Atlanta's been playing well as well. So yeah, I mean, we'll see how it goes, man. Good split by Chicago, going to DC and getting it done. And I think that's pretty much all I can really comment on that one. RIP to the people who had DJ Moore and still lost. myself included, man. All right, let's get to the Jacksonville and Buffalo game. This was another interesting one. You know, the Bills, they had their shots to um to take this game over, and they just had some critical mistakes. Some of the turnovers, um, them not being able to stop the run game. Edatini had a monster day as well. Um, Trevor Lawrence actually had a good game. I come on here and talk my shit. But my brothers ain't here today, so I can actually compliment them, man. He actually did work, man. I got to give it to him on how he was able to spread the ball, get his guys going. You know, like I said, I'm sure the monster game from Edatini being able to get that run game going helped. Um, the defense made some crucial stops. That it was just all around good showing in London for them, man. And as far as the Bills, man, they dropped one. I feel like, you know what I'm saying. Like again, this is one of them games where you got to take care of that when you are supposed to have Super Bowl aspirations of taking that next step. So yeah, they gotta get it together too, man. Like, games like that they gotta take care of, and they have to be in domination mode because they are in win now mode. And everybody knows that when you're in win now mode in the NFL, that window does not stay open very long. They had a good day. Davis and Diggs, they showed up to play. Um, I think they made a huge mistake, man, and I think it's showing more and more every week how they just completely have abandoned their run game. Not as far as like not running the ball, but like the chance they've had so many chances to go out and get guys like Zeke a couple years ago when he was on the market. They didn't go after him. Last year they didn't go after McCaffrey when they had the chance. They didn't go after I'm not saying Cam Akers is on their levels, but you didn't go after Cam Akers. It's like you guys aren't even trying. Or Pollard. Pollard was up for grabs last year. They didn't go for him. They didn't go for JT right now when he was on the block. It's just, man, it's the stigma going around in the NFL as far as with, I guess, the front offices that the running back position isn't that important, man. And I think the Bills are a great depiction of how important it is because stuff like this, man, if they just keep abandoning and ignoring it, when it comes time to play for real, you start playing some of these teams that's also on their way to the offs or are also in win now mode. That disparity is going to show. You can't get the run game going. Everybody knows that that takes a big chunk away from what you're trying to get done. So, yeah, I think the Bills. I mean, I don't know who they would be able to go after now. And I'm sure the injury to White doesn't help as well. If I'm not mistaken, I think he tear his ACL again. Let me see. Okay, he didn't tear his ACL, but he is on IR. Um, so yeah, I mean, who's to say what how that goes with Trey White? But yeah, they're gonna have to get healthy, and they are going to have to address that running back position. They cannot just keep completely abandoning it like that, or the same thing's gonna happen again. They're gonna lose in the first or second round, and they're gonna go home and go back to the drawing board. And as you guys know, they were already on thin ice as far as Diggs. As far as Diggs goes, last week. I mean, not last week. The last off season. So, um, but yeah, other than that, pretty good game. I only caught the end of it, obviously, because it was at 6:30 in the morning, and they smoking dope, dick, and dynamite. They think I'm getting up at 6:30 in the morning to watch that. Um, so yeah, we'll move to the next one. We got New Orleans and New England. Not much to talk about here. Patriots got dominated once again. I think I don't know what's going on over there in New England. I'm not saying, I know a lot of people are coming down on Belichick now and trying to take credit from the man, but I just honestly think like those days of him just getting these mediocre players. I'm not saying the defense is necessarily mediocre, but on offense, if you can't score, obviously it's going to gas your defense, right? So I think those days of him just having like those mediocre offensive weapons, guys who are average, below average, maybe good here and there. I think those days are over with, man, for them to have that type of system and still win games, man. The league is changing. You can see the talent disparity on most nights, and this is only New Orleans. So, but you can see clearly that they're better than them top, from top to bottom. So, yeah, man. Derek Carr, he looked pretty decent. Kamara looks like he's, starting to get his wind under him. Michael Thomas is still, easing his way back. He's obviously you always holding your breath for Michael Thomas. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we'll see what's up with him, man, and how he holds up. But so far he's not looking too bad, man. Not looking too shabby. Um, yeah. Other than that, man, not much to really comment on. I know people are going in on Mac Jones. I don't know why they keep doing this thing where they bench Mac Jones for Zappy. Like it seems like they do this almost every week, every year. But I honestly think that their problems are bigger than Mac Jones. I really do, man. Like you guys aren't the Chiefs. Like you can't just get all these mediocre receivers. Um, these Stevenson is good, but as far as the other running backs, it's like that's not gonna work no more, bro. So that's why you're sitting at 1-4 right now. Okay, let's go Titans and Colts. For this one, I was a little disappointed, man. This is another one where it's like the Titans, y'all gotta take care of business, man. And this one is more so. I will say the quarterback, like Tannehill, really ain't it, but I feel like Tannehill has enough weapons to where he can, get some games against. I guess you could say the teams that you're supposed to win against. But also the defense giving up a $160 to Zach Moss and two tutties, like that's inexcusable. You're not gonna win like that. You have to be able to stop the run. Again, something that front offices are acting like is so not important, but clearly, if you don't stop it, it's a recipe for disaster for you. As you can see, and Tennessee, they still had their chances to win. I know they had some bad turnovers. I was glad to see Hopkins back on his game. Hopefully, this is something that he builds off of, seeing as he's on my fantasy team. But no, just in general, man. Like I think Hop still has something left in the tank, man. And I just kind of feel bad because it seems like he just gets outside of Watson, man. It's just bad QB after bad QB play, and he still finds a way to make it work somehow. So, yeah, man. That's Derrick Henry's another one, man. I don't know if he's still. I don't know if he's been just worn out, man. That's what it's looking like. I'm sure he's gonna have some splashes this season. Like I'm not writing him off, but he hasn't. He's only had like one good game this season for real. So they're gonna have to figure something out as far as him as well. Or I don't know if he needs to get healthy. I don't know if he's they've ran that man to the ground and now it's just not hitting the same. I don't know. But Henry is not looking the same right now. Also, shout out to the Colts, man. You know what I'm saying? My boy, who's a ecstatic extremist of a Colts fan and was extremely optimistic of them right now. He calls me almost every week, giving me his thoughts on them and how he loves the direction they're going in and everything. I actually have to call him today. I want to get his thoughts on this particular game. But yeah, man, the Colts they took care of business. They closed it out in the fourth quarter. And yeah, I mean, Not much else I can say. Shout out to Josh Downs. He looked like like he's waking up. Coach might have found them a gym finally, got Pittman some help. Um, and oh, Jonathan Taylor, come on, man, don't fall into the train of players that got paid and then you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, JT. Don't make your guys look bad right now, man. And I get it. Like, as far as how I've mentioned this before. Like, when it comes to running backs, it seems like they're trying to put them in this position of you get paid and don't live up to the contract. They're going to try to hold it against every running back in the future, right? But when they pay a Daniel Jones, when they pay a Jared Goff as a top 5 in the league, or when they pay a Jimmy G, $100 million after 5 games, when they do spit like that and they end up not being the guy, everybody's allowed to just go to their prospective corners and it's all fine. But then when it comes to a running back, oh no, we got to steal the market from them. You know what I'm saying? So I get that part. I don't like that either. I just think what me and Ragu have talked about is what they need to do, man. They need to start getting these guys paid early. If you see somebody show out their first season, I think they need to get them their contracts early when they wearing and tearing them. So, because then they're waiting until 4 or 5 years down the line and saying, oh, you're old now, for running back standards, and then they don't want to pay them. So I think that's what they should do. Just start paying the running backs earlier, man. I think that's what the players union needs to talk about at the next CBA meeting. We'll go Baltimore Steelers. Very, very disappointing one, man. I know this is a rivalry game. I know this is a division game, but Baltimore, oh my gosh, man. How many times did they drop those balls, man? I think they had like 7 or 8 drop passes, bro, where Lamar is placing it right in these niggas' hands, bro. This is another thing that needs to be addressed. Baltimore, you can't keep ignoring that receiver position, man. You just can't. You have to take care of that, bro. Because that Mark Andrews split, I mean, that works for the Chiefs where they can just have a great tight end and mid-grade receivers. That's clearly not working for y'all. It's working to win games in the regular season. But clearly, when you play somebody who's for real, when you play a defense that's for real, that split ain't going to work. You got to get him some playmakers, man. I know you guys tried to get Odell. Odell's looking like he's had 3 ACL tears in the last 5 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Y'all gotta, and I hate that, I know it seems like I'm trying to make excuses for Lamar, and I'm not gonna lie, he didn't have the best of game either. But there's nothing he can do about the ball being placed right in your hands and these niggas dropping it. There's nothing he can do about getting his running back the ball on a good angle route, and then he just fumbles it. Like that's not on Lamar. You know what I'm saying? So, but you just got paid whatever he got, 200-something million or whatever. They want you to figure it out, man. But the front offices need to do their job too. Shout out TJ Watt closing it out the way he did. Shout out to the Pickett to Pickens combo. Seemed like they went to work. Shout out to the Steelers, still out here trying to get it done without Cam Hayward. Sitting at 3-2 right now. I have Baltimore winning that division though, man. So Baltimore, step your split up, man. You know what I'm saying? I need to see it. Okay. Let's go Carolina and Detroit. Not much to see here. Bryce Young did show some flashes, but he also had some moments where it was like, nigga, why are you in the league? There was definitely a couple of those. Sanders is excuse me, y'all. Sanders is very much looking like he was getting carried by that line in Philly. That's what he's looking like right now. These performances he's been having is just not it. It's not going to work for them. I thought they found them a good find. At Thielen is awoken. Like he's been out there doing work. He been out there getting Dougie. I ain't seen him look like this even when he was in Minnesota in like the last 2-3 years. So it seems like they got them at least a guy. Um, but yeah, they got work to do, man. They gave up the 40 burger. Jared Goff is I don't know what's going on with him, man, but he's been looking really good these last couple of seasons, and it's kind of has tapped in. I mean, people forget for the money he's being paid, he better because Goff did get paid. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know what it's in perspective to now, considering how many quarterbacks I've gotten paid in the last couple of years. But yeah, Jared Goff definitely he's definitely awoken the last couple of years, and he's kind of looking like that year that 2018 2019 season when we went to the Super Bowl. But I think he's maybe one of them quarterbacks. Maybe he's like a Jimmy G. He needs weapons in order to be successful. You give him the right guys, and he'll make it happen. But we'll see. Once they get to playoffs, assuming they make playoffs, we'll see what it looks like with him and how he fares and how that goes. The chemistry with him and Reynolds, I'm sure that helps because they're former LA Rams from back at that time, so they kind of had a rapport. Williams is, I mean, I remember I came on this show and I told the guys, man, like I ain't seen enough. He ain't do spit when he was out there, and they was like, give him a chance. Williams, I don't know what's up with bro, man. That might have been a miss, but that's yet to be determined, yet to be seen. And I guess we'll have to revisit that another time. But shout out to Detroit, man, sitting at a pretty 4-1. I know a lot of people. Last year I had them as a sleeper. This year everybody had them winning the division. So we'll see how that goes, man. We'll see how that goes. But they sitting pretty right now at a 4-1, and don't look like they're slowing down anytime soon. Let's go Houston and Atlanta. Houston and Atlanta, man. Shout out CJ Stroud, man. He still hasn't thrown an interception or turned the ball over this season. They look like they got them one, man. And it's crazy because the Panthers, if I'm not mistaken, traded up to get that number one pick. And as of right now, and I want to give them time, man, but so far it's looking like they might have gotten the wrong guy as far as out of the two. I love how CJ Stroud is looking, man. He's out there poised, looking like a 5-year veteran. And I know they didn't bring the game home. Shout out to Atlanta's defense. But man, he's been doing his thing, man. And I like what I'm seeing. Even though I've said on here multiple times, I hope Houston never wins another game. He's having me struggle with that, man, because I'm rooting for him now. I like what I see from him. Even though I hate that front office, I hate that owner, I hate everything about that team in general. But I can see what they're building. They got some cool young guys, Nico Collins. They got Schultz from Dallas. They got Tank Dell, the rookie. They got Dameon Pierce, of course, who I feel like he's getting his win back up under him as well. And I love that Stroud is not taking the whole effort. I'm gonna just run route everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, even if he did, if you talented at it, do that spit. But he's looking like he's comfortable in that pocket, and I've been seeing it basically since preseason. Really, he's been looking like that. So, shout out to CJ Stroud, man. I hope he has something to build upon. Hope he gets the hell out of Texas, but hope he has something to build upon as far as his career, man, because he's looking really, really good. And I just found out that he's a Cali native, man, from the IE, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, man, shout out CJ. Other than that, man, it was a really pretty good game, man. Atlanta got the stock that they needed, for young Hoku to bring it home, and Kyle Pitts, looks like they finally got him going, man. I know it's been a free Kyle Pitts media train right now because Ritter hasn't been doing the best, but he didn't do too bad come Sunday. So yeah. Hopefully they build upon that. Atlanta was my sleeper team this season. Well, one of my sleeper teams this season. I still think they have time. You know what I mean? They're sitting at 3-2 right now. I believe Saints might be at the same thing if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if the Bucks are. I have to check their division out. I know they were on a bye this week, but yeah, man. Shout out to Atlanta. I actually mess with both of these teams as far as like, or I'm not gonna say. I'll basically say like I'm looking forward and intrigued on what I can see these teams do in the future. Atlanta definitely still needs a quarterback. But they have a lot of the win now elements to build upon right now. Like I said last week, you could tell the Bengals are really missing Jesse Bates. And that's something that clearly they'll have to address at some point. But all in all, man, like I said, it was a pretty good game. We can go Giants and Dolphins. There's not much to see here either, but let's see, man. Shout out to Tyreek, man. It seemed like he's really gunning for that 2K. 8 catches for $180 and a tud. That rookie dude, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but that rookie, oh my gosh, he's come alive. I'm mad I missed out on him on the waiver wire. And Ragu was trying to tell me on here too. And I had a missed opportunity if I even would have got him. But that kid's been playing amazing. I think he, if I'm not mistaken, I think he might be like second in rushing yards this season. Tua, I believe, is leading in passing yards, if I'm not mistaken. Or is either passing yards or accuracy. It was one of the two. But yeah, man, the Dolphins they're rolling, man. They look good. Like I said, the Giants are more so looking like how I thought they would last year. But they'll figure it out. At least you guys got a coach. Y'all can build something upon that. But yeah, I don't really have much to say about that game. Miami kind of went en route to them. Like I said, the rookie looks really, really good. They're looking like Miami's looking like a contender in the AFC. That's pretty much all I can say, man. Looking like much more of a contender than this next team we're about to talk about, which is the Bengals. The Bengals and Cardinals game. Not much to talk about there, except for the fact that, man, Ja'Marr Chase, man, I know I mentioned it earlier about having to play him in both of my leagues, but man, he just said that he just said I'm always open, and clearly he wasn't lying. Like, you know what I'm saying? Burrow had to find that man. And he had a monster game, 15 catches for nearly 200 yards and 3 touchdowns. Burrow finally woke up. Mind you, it is the Cardinals. Let's take it with a grain of salt, but it's still encouraging to see nonetheless, especially for me, as I drafted Burrow in both of my fantasy leagues. So, if we can get him to wake up, man, that would be great. We'll see how things fare when they get T. Higgins back and they have the whole if they can somehow make a run. I mean, it's like me and Isaiah were talking about. It seems like they do this every year. Like they start off bad and then go on these 7-8 game winning streaks. You know what I'm saying? Somebody gets hurt on Baltimore, then they end up taking the number 1 seed in the division. It seems like that never fails. But yeah, man, Bengals take care of business. Ja'Marr Chase let loose, and like I said, he said I'm always open, and he damn sure was open a whole lot on Sunday. So we'll see if that's something that they build upon. And I don't know what mode the Cardinals are going to be. If they're going to go back into that mode of let's get that let's go get that number one 2024 pick. But we shall see, man. Oh my gosh. This the game right here, man. My guys, man. We got Eagles and Rams, man. Eagles moved to 5-0 against my guys. So here's the thing. When I looked at the schedule at the top of the season, I'm not like obviously this is not a game I expected to win, right? I mean, I'm gonna go into it hoping that we do, but it's not something where I look like, I gave the Rams 8 wins. Obviously, Philly probably wasn't one of them. You know what I'm saying? Seeing as how loaded they are and the talent disparity. We did get Cooper Kupp back. That was something that was encouraging. But as far as like the game, man, it's just I think what pisses me off, not that we lose, it's the way we lose, man. It's critical penalties. It's these the same thing that happened with the Niners. We give up the touchdown right before halftime. You know what I'm saying? The blown coverages from Kendrick. You know what I'm saying? I think, like I said, one thing that's encouraging, Cooper Kupp came back, got right back to business as usual, and it seems like Puka didn't miss a beat either. And if I'm not mistaken, Van Jefferson just got traded to Atlanta today, which means they're gonna roll with the core of Kupp, Pook, and Tutu. Tutu. So yeah, man. The Rams, we look encouraging for the future right now. But man, when we have we could have this game was winnable, the Niners game was winnable, and the Bengals game was winnable. Like we literally could have started 5-0, man. That's the sad part about this. You know what I'm saying? But instead we're sitting at 2-3. And I would have loved to start like that because there's nothing better than not having high expectations and then your team blows them out the water. You know what I mean? We just got to keep taking care of the games that we're supposed to win. Maybe we can get lucky and sneak us a wild card spot, man, and build upon that. But Philly's not looking the best, man. I mean, the 5 games that they played, if I'm not mistaken, it was all games where it's like I don't think anybody thought that, like, you know what I'm saying? Like anybody didn't have them favorited. Like they've been they've been winning by the skin of their teeth. I think -1 maybe, but most of their games they've been winning like by the skin of their teeth. And when they play somebody for real, that's not gonna hold up. So we'll excuse me, y'all. We'll see how that fares out, man. I mean, obviously, right now it's looking like Philly and in the Niners as it has been since week 1. But I ain't gonna lie, 49ers have been looking a lot more impressive than these Eagles have. And I know Eagles fans might hate that I'm saying that, but it's just like you guys aren't supposed to be struggling with the Rams. You guys aren't supposed to be struggling with the Patriots. You're not supposed to be struggling with the Vikings. You know what I'm saying? Like those is games that's supposed to be easily taken care of. And it seems like, there was a struggle with all of those. So when you guys play somebody for real, I think I'll be able to evaluate them better. And I know I'm saying the same thing I said last year, but man, I can't help that I haven't seen them do anything, man. So that was the easiest Super Bowl run I've ever seen in my life. And then here they are with, a cupcake start to the season. So we shall see, man. Goddard had a monster game. We couldn't really get him under control. I hope Stafford doesn't fall back into the whole 20 targets for Coop, ignore everybody else train, because I know he can easily get into that. This was Kupp's first game back, and I feel like that's why he was maybe eased into that. And it's good that it's actually great that he's built a rapport with Puka while Kupp has been gone. I just hope that, he continues to spread that out, man. And beat those accusations that we was talking about, you know what I'm saying, of not only passing to receivers of lighter skin complexion. You know what I mean? But yeah, other than that, man, I'm proud of my guys, man. We've been hanging in there. We've been fighting with teams that should be blowing us out the water compared to what everybody was saying about us. They only predicted us to get maybe 4 or 5 wins this season. So I definitely think we should get that with ease. And yeah, man. Let's get to the next one. Give me 1 second, y'all. All right, my bad. I had to do a quick mic check. I don't got nobody here to check if my split not working or not, so y'all bear with me. All right, let's go. Jets and Broncos, man. Wilson got carried. I think there's been a get Wilson up out of there narrative going. But I think what he did against the Chiefs was, that was I don't know if that was a fluky game or not. But I'm willing to give Zach to the end of the season, man. If Zach by the end of the season is still in the same split, then we can get him up out of there. But as of right now, I mean, no, clearly he's not Aaron Rodgers, but we've seen flashes of what he can do, but we've also seen flashes of him looking terrible. So, we shall see going forth, you know, how that goes. Brees Hall with the monster game on this one had a $170 for a tutty. Yeah, other than that, man, the Jets, they played the Broncos. Really, that's really what it ends up coming down to. It's like you played the Broncos. So it's like, I don't know how much stock to put in that. I know I could say Sean Payton, you should have kept your mouth shut. You talked all of that about Nathaniel Hackett, and yet here you are. Basically sitting pretty like how he was at this time last season. So you got to stay humble, man, because you looking like number 9 was over there carrying you. Russell Wilson, you looking like that boy Pete was over there carrying you. You've been, you had a okay game, but you had some that pivotal turnover from that dump switch you tried to pull. I don't know what you was thinking throwing that like that. And that's pretty much what took y'all out the game. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. This this experiment is looking real bad. Another example of a guy who got paid, and I don't know what it's been, man. All the guys that got paid in these last couple years, man. I think other than Herbert, it's been some question marks on them, man. Like I don't know what's been going on. Niggas get paid and they just shade off. Like, come on, man. Y'all making it worse for the dudes coming behind y'all. All right, take care of business. But yeah, Jets beat Denver en route 31-21. Jets are trying to basically do what they did last year, win in spite of Zach Wilson, which I think they're capable of. But will it be enough for a playoff spot? We shall see. Let's go Chiefs and Vikings, man. It's any given Sunday. So, the Vikings put up a fight, but, Chiefs took care of business as they should. Again, shout out to Ragu, man, because Kirk Cousins is making him look good right now, man. He's been saying for the last couple seasons that he feels like he's the most disrespected quarterback in the league. He's leading in touchdowns right now, if I'm not mistaken. So, he might have been on to something, man. I know it helps when you got a guy like Jefferson, but that wasn't even their marquee this week. So, yeah, man. The Vikings, they've been looking kind of disappointed this season. Last year I think Isaiah was the one that brought up that I think 10 of their games or more, or I think 10 of their wins or something was like a 1-score game or something, which means that literally could have went either way. And it looks like they're getting the bad end of that this season. So, yeah, man, we'll see how that goes going forth if they are able to turn it around somehow. But as of right now, I mean, especially with Detroit kind of taking that leap, it just unless barring some injury, man, it seems like this is what it is, and it's time to go back to the drawing board. But quiet as kept, man. I ain't gonna lie. I don't see this as a season where the Chiefs are just gonna dominate and be there again. Are they gonna keep getting wins? Yes. I don't feel like they're gonna dominate the playoffs this year. I think there's some teams in the AFC that might have something to say. But we've been saying that quite some time, and Chiefs have still accomplished what they have. So we shall see as far as that goes. Dallas and the Niners, man. what was it? Sunday Night Football? Yeah, Sunday Night Football. Very disappointing Sunday Night Football game. I actually turned it off at a certain point. Um, Dak is just. I think Dak is one of those quarterbacks. He reminds me of like Dwight Howard back in the day. Like when he plays against sorry teams, he gonna show up. He gonna go off. But when he play against somebody for real, you gonna see the disparity of who he really is. And I think that's what's going on right now. I feel like that Trey Lance move is looking kind of genius. I'm not gonna lie, because they went and got them a guy. I'm not saying that Trey Lance is the guy, but they want a guy who hasn't gotten a fair shot and can still give them a possible chance to see how good he is. I would think maybe that would make Dak play a little better when he has somebody like Trey Lance breathing down the side of his neck, because he's waiting for that opportunity. So if Dak gets hurt or if they lose again, one and done type spit this season, I think his job is in jeopardy. I think he's on the hot seat now, to be real. He's been on the hot seat the last couple seasons. And again, another guy who got paid. So we shall see, man. Obviously they didn't get the run going enough because they couldn't. You know what I'm saying? Like that Niners defense looks for real, man. I'm not gonna lie. They were looking very real on Sunday. Shout out to Kittle with the 3 tutties. You know what I'm saying? Monster game for him. Purdy is looking extremely poised. Like, I know we keep calling him mid and saying, like, oh, he's just getting carried. He just can't crash. He just doesn't need to crash the Lambo. I understand that, but I'm not going to lie. There's some throws out there I see Purdy doing where I'm like, okay, that, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's taking the shots, and that's what a lot of these coaches want more than anything, like, to have that fearless, resilient type attitude when it comes to this shit. And Purdy got that. He threw for 4 touchdowns the other day. You know what I mean? So, obviously having somebody like McCaffrey, who's the best running back in the world right now, obviously that helps. But, yeah, as far as like, excuse me, y'all. Just as far as like them going forth of if they have their guy, I think they might, man. And Purdy's doing this on the rookie deal. I think because he was the last pick. I think if I'm not mistaken, he's only making like $900,000 this season, which is a lot to us regular people, but peanuts, in comparison to his peers. So, yeah, man. The night at the office for the Niners. I don't know if they have the Eagles on their schedule this year, but I know that's the one we all waiting for to see what they talking about. And, we shall see, man. I think if I'm not mistaken, I predicted them to be the best team in the NFL this year. So, as far as regular season goes, so we'll see if they take care of that. And with that being said, do I have any more comments on that? I really don't like beating on a dead horse with the Dak thing, man. I know he did look atrocious out there. But like I said, when he plays somebody sorry, that's when he'll do good again. And Cowboy fans will get back to talking about this our year. So we shall see, man. We shall see as far as that goes. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. If Trey Lance ends up getting his shot, like I said, probably won't be this season unless he gets hurt. But for next season, it'll be interesting if they, jumped ahead of the gun. And if Trey Lance ends up being a guy, they're gonna look like geniuses, bro. I'm telling you. All right, last but not least, man. Y'all can tell me how I did, man. I know niggas might laugh at me. You know what I'm saying? Niggas might have something to say. You know what I'm saying? We'll see, man. I'll get a fair review from the fans, my peers. I'm sure they'll be watching this, man. But we got through it, man. Just one game left before we get up out of here, man. We got Monday Night Football. We got Green Bay and Las Vegas. Raiders ended up winning, so it didn't matter. But that scary 4th and 1 from Josh McDaniels, it kind of made me realize why Isaiah hates that dude so much. Because I don't understand how you can pay your running back all that money but he can't go get you a 4th-and-1 to seemingly put the game away. Because if I'm not mistaken, the Packers only had one timeout left at that point. So I didn't understand that decision. But, shout out to Jordan Love underthrowing that ball when he tried to get to Watson. I don't know what he was thinking because I was basically a touchdown, but it was just he underthrew the ball, man. Love, he's been looking pretty good this season. And don't get me wrong, one or two of them picks wasn't his fault last night, but he just didn't look like locked in or zoned in. And on the Raiders defense, I mean, they, give them credit. They did what they did. I don't want to take nothing from them. And Crosby had a lot of, he put a lot of pressure on that boy last night. But outside of that, man, like Love, that's unacceptable, man. And I know you're still learning, you were still in that process, but as you guys know, fans panic rather quickly when it comes to their cues. So yeah, man. Hopefully he learns from the mistakes he made. They have the run game going, so they can't use the Aaron Jones excuse. But yeah, man, hopefully they figure it out and, just continue to build on it, man. I do think the Packers have some weapons. Excuse me, y'all. I do believe the Packers have some weapons that they can build upon. I do like that how the defense looks still, as they've had the last 4 or 5 seasons, but I think they got to figure something out on the offensive end, man. They got to get them some guys to, the NFL is changing, man. There's a lot of guys teaming up these days, man. So, Christian Watson, while I do think he's good, I don't think he's as good as people may think. He's not like when he was with Aaron Rodgers good. You know what I'm saying? Like that kind of makes a difference when you're going from Rodgers to Jordan Love. And that's not a diss to Jordan Love. It's just, obviously you're talking about a top 5 QB all time. I could say that with my chest because these niggas ain't here. But yeah, man. Outside of that, man, it was a good game. Hard fought between both teams. I thought it was Jordan Love's chance to make some noise, man. Go get you a game-winning drive and close it out, and make McDaniels eat that and have to answer for not going for that 4th-and-1. But fortunately, it didn't happen. Jimmy G looked dog water. He's showing that what he looks like when he doesn't have a bunch of crazy weapons and line around him and all of that. Like, it hit different when you ain't got Trent Williams and George Kittle and, what I'm saying, and all them guys. Like, you see how they got Purdy looking right now. So, but shout out Jacoby Myers though. He's been getting Dougie this season, man. I F with what he's been doing. And Raiders are now sitting at 2-3. I think most of us on this show, except Marv, I think most of us gave them 5 games, and they're not looking too bad as of right now. As far as record goes, could be worse. So we'll see how that goes with them, man. It's crazy that the week that they actually win, Ragu and my guy Isaiah is not here to celebrate it, but shout out to them. Ragu's out on vacation right now with his feet kicked up, so I understand. And much prayers out to my brother Isaiah, man. I know he's dealing with a lot right now. I love you, brother, and to all the fans that are watching this, make sure you guys send your love and prayers to Isaiah. I believe today's the anniversary that his sister passed away, so make sure y'all go show some love to my boy, man. Other than that, man, let me see, man. I'll check if there's some quick NBA news for us to cover. Because I got through this rather quickly. It's a lot different when you got one voice versus 5 of them. I know we got the Harden situation. Okay, so there's breaking news that the Clippers don't want to increase their current offer to Philly because they feel like they're the only team interested. And you know what? They actually are the only team interested. That's the hilarious part. Like I've said this on the show multiple times, man. I mean, if he finds a way to the Clippers, cool. But I feel like James Harden, he might be out the league in a couple years. You know what I mean? So um yeah, I mean we shall see, man. How that goes. Like I think he might be out the league because it's a situation where the teams that I guess he would actually make better probably have young guys that they're trying to get going. They got young guys that they want to get all the run as possible. And then the teams that are contenders probably feel like he's not a good fit. He's not a winner. He hasn't shown to be a winner since he's been in the league. He chokes in the playoffs nearly every time he goes. He has his couple splurt splash games here and there. But as you can see, like in game 7, he just literally just didn't show up, you know. And if I'm not mistaken, Harden's what, 34, 35 now? So, you know, I can see teams passing on him at this point. Um, but other than that, man, I think we might be good to go. We do have an NBA prediction episode, man. I'm so excited for that, bro. Because I know we always talk about the NFL predictions, but I'm cooking up an NBA predictions episode. I'm gonna try to get y'all some new special guests on here. Some of the guys that I truly respect that I know the game. So NBA prediction episode will be coming sometime next week, man. So y'all be on the lookout for that. Other than that, man, I think we could wrap it up here. Okay, it says Denver is prepared to offer Jamal Murray a super max if he makes an All NBA team. Yeah, that's enough basketball news for you today. I wish the hell they would. Nigga, Jamal Murray's is getting super maxes now. Jamal Murray's and Rudy Gobert's is super maxes now. Oh man. Anyway, man, thank y'all for rocking with me, man. I don't know if it was a rough episode for y'all or not, but y'all, you know, give me some grace, man. I was a little nervous. This is my first episode that I've ever done on a solo tip. But thank y'all for the ones that did rock with me and tune in with me for the episode to get my thoughts on the week. Make sure y'all continue to like, share, comment, and subscribe, man. Let's take this to the furthest extent. Y'all can catch us on all major directories from Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Why am I having a blank? Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, YouTube. Type in All Grind Sports Show. Again, thank y'all for tuning in with me. Thank y'all for rocking out with me. That's episode 71 in the books. And I will see y'all next Tuesday. And also I'll see y'all whatever day we end up doing the NBA prediction episode. I don't want to put a date on it because y'all gonna hold me to it, but it'll be coming real soon. I can promise y'all that. Go Rams, go Lakers, go Dodgers. Peace. See y'all later, man. Thank you for rocking out.